Welcome back everyone to the Working Class Revolt, and today I want to talk about the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson and his recent interview that he's done, in which he talks about his time as Prime Minister. He talks about how he feels the election with Keir Starmer would have gone on if he'd still been the Prime Minister and the leader of the Conservative Party. But the clip that I'm going to show you now is regarding Sue Gray and what was the start of the demise of Boris Johnson. Please take a look at this clip.
Why don't you tell our viewers who investigated it?
I don't want to go down the avenue of Sue Gray.
And who is, just to remind our viewers who Sue Gray is.
Sue Gray is a leading civil servant.
What post does she currently hold?
We're not going down this road.
Why not?
Because no one disputes the essential facts. I asked you about Martin Reynolds inviting 100 people.
I will tell our viewers what post Sue Gray currently holds.
I know everyone knows what Sue Gray does.
I'm going to tell them.
This is unfair on Sue Gray, who is not here to defend herself. You are here to defend yourself, so I'm making.
I'm so sorry. Well, let me just.
I'm asking the questions on behalf of our viewers.
She is the chief of staff of the leader.
We're all well aware of that. This is what really began the slide for you.
Well, let's.
And there we see the interviewer doing everything possible for Boris Johnson not to mention Sue Gray. And the reason the establishment don't want us to know about Sue Gray is because Sue Gray, you may remember, is the person who did the report about Partygate that ultimately led to Boris Johnson losing his job as the Prime Minister and the leader of the Conservative Party. Fast forward, Keir Starmer then becomes Prime Minister and he hires Sue Gray to be his top legal advisor. So whoever was advising Boris Johnson regarding Sue Gray as a top civil servant, it really questions these advisors' motives. And we now hear that Sue Gray has been sacked, or at least told to move aside, because she was stopping information, it's claimed, getting up to the Prime Minister. And I have long said that the civil servants in the country are the ones who cause most of the problems. They advise politicians wrong, they've got their own agendas, and they really seem to be the power in Whitehall and the councils up and down the country. And it shows here how this interviewer will talk about anybody and everything, but not this top civil servant, or now what is a top aide. And Boris Johnson makes sure, in Boris Johnson's style, very comical, that he gets the message out about Sue Gray. And it seems that Boris Johnson now believes that there was an attack against him in order to get rid of him as Prime Minister. And I actually agree. For all Boris Johnson's faults, he was a good campaigner. Boris Johnson was far better than what we've got now, or Richie Sunak. So I think Boris Johnson would have won the election. Even at his worst ever polling, he was only 3 points behind Keir Starmer. Bearing in mind that Prime Ministers are usually behind up till election, Boris Johnson probably would have re-won the election, or at the very least it would have been a close hung parliament. But please let me know what you think. Does seeing that interview with Boris Johnson and bringing up Sue Gray make you have a different perspective, or do you think that we're just better off gone without Boris? Without Boris, he was a wolf in sheep's clothing, and he wasn't trustworthy. Please let me know your comments. Please like, share, and especially subscribe, and I'll see you all at next video. Thank you.